Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? You know who it is. It's your boy, J Movie Michael. And I'm about to go in on the movie Passengers. Now, if you haven't seen it, Passengers was a film directed by Morton Tildum, starring the stunning Jennifer Lawrence, and featuring my boy Chris Pratt. I mean, it's an all star cast. But if I'm being honest, the movie was kind of average. Kind of average at best. Uh, I'll get into that in a later episode, but for now, what we're going to hit on is how the movie relates to interpersonal communications. Passengers takes place on the starship Avalon, which is basically a huge glorified shopping mall. The Avalon is on a 130-year journey to a new planet, and all 5,000 people are soundly asleep in hibernation pods and are set to wake up about 3 months before their arrival to this planet. That is until the ship passes through an asteroid field and wakes up Chris Pratt's character, aka Jim Preston, 90 years too soon. Uh oh. At its core, Passengers hits on a lot of the fundamentals of interpersonal communications, or if you're a fan of the show, you know we like to abbreviate that IPC. And specifically about IPC is that it hits on why humans need communication. Also, we're going to go into detail on the topic of self-disclosure and ultimately how it led to Chris Pratt's character deceiving Jennifer Lawrence's character. Now, Jim had everything he needed to survive on board. He had food, he had water, he had a basketball court, he had a sick dancing game, but he was missing one thing. One very crucial thing, and that's human interaction. If you've read Interplay by Adler, Rosenfield, and Proctor, you know that humans have an inherent need for communication, both physically and socially. Studies have proven that humans with a strong network of family and friends live 3.7 years longer on average than people that are socially isolated. This is science, people. Not to mention they're sick less susceptible to coronary disease, less susceptible to mental illness, and just overall happier, healthier people. Now, Jim's case is kind of a perfect example of the importance of interpersonal communication, as he only lasts about a year before he comes seconds away from pressing a button that would suck him into space, effectively ending his life. And now this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So Jim, being a capable mechanic, discovers that he can manually open up one of the hibernation pods, which would wake up the person inside and effectively end that person's life by marooning them on the ship with him. You see where I'm going with this. After mulling over the decision, Jim decides upon waking up Jennifer Lawrence's character, Aurora Lane. Because hey, if you're going to be stranded with anybody, it might as well be Jennifer Lawrence, am I right? Now, just to clarify here, Jim is willing to basically kill Aurora so that he can have someone else to interact with. And if that's not a testament to a human's physical need for communication, then my name isn't John Movie Michael. Now I think it's a good time to dive into the topic of self-disclosure, and luckily if you don't know what self-disclosure is, the fine folks over at Interplay have got you covered. Thankfully I have my reading glasses on so we can just jump right in here. Self-disclosure has the self as subject, it is intentional, it's directed at another person, it's honest, it's revealing, it contains information generally unavailable from other sources, and the last key component is that it gains much of its intimate nature from the context in which it is expressed. Now, self-disclosure is relevant at this point in the movie because Jim has got a very big secret that he needs to disclose from Aurora, and he doesn't do it. But I think once we look at the guidelines for self-disclosure, once again laid out in Interplay, maybe we can understand why he came to that conclusion not to disclose that secret to her. One, is the other person important to you? Yes, the answer was definitely yes. They had fallen in love at this point, spent a year together and fallen in love. Two, is the risk of disclosing reasonable? See, I don't think it was, because when she found out that he lied to her, it destroyed everything they had. And not only were they both marooned on a spaceship leading to their inevitable death, they also didn't even have human interaction anymore. So I think the risk is just too high. The third guideline being, is the self-disclosure appropriate? And that's kind of not really relevant to this situation. 4, is the self-disclosure reciprocated? Yes, definitely. Aurora had disclosed a lot of personal information to Jim, and they basically knew everything about each other, beside the secret that Jim was hiding. And the last one, will the effect be constructive? And no, this is a situation where the effect of this disclosure would be incredibly destructive to both of them, because of the reasons we've listed before and because of how important human interaction is to human survival. Now I got to bring this video to a close, but just to kind of rehash on everything we've talked about, Jim made the decision he made because he could not stand another second without human interaction, and that's just something that's stressed on the first pages of Interplay, just how important communication is to a human's physical and mental health. And of course we talked about self-disclosure and why Jim might have been, telling a benevolent lie when he didn't tell Aurora what actually happened to her hibernation pod. But it was a good movie. A lot of interesting communication topics. So we're gonna give it 3 out of 5 cowbungas, and that's an official John Movie Michael rating. Peace out, everybody.